Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Jayo Prabhupada 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 Jayo Prabhupada Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। So we are reading from 6th canto, 17th chapter, text number 38. So we'll recite this shloka. Jagne tashtu dakshinagno danavim yonimashritah वृत्र अभिविख्यातो ज्ञान विज्ञान संयुतः जग्ने त्वष्टु दक्षिणाग्नो दानवीं योनिमाश्रितः वृत्र इत्यभिविख्यातो ज्ञान विज्ञान संयुतः जग्ने त्वष्टुर्दक्षिणाग्नो दानवीं योनिमाश्रितः वृत्र इत्यभिविख्यातो ज्ञान विज्ञान संयुतः। किसी से जाग्ने दष्टो दक्षिणाग्नो दानवीं योनिमाश्रितः ज्ञान विज्ञान संयुतः दानवीं योनिमाश्रितः Mataji. What word meaning? Jagne was born Tvashtuhu of the Brahmana known as Tvashta. Dakshinagno in the fire sacrifice known as Dakshinagni. Danavim, demoniac. Yonim, species of life. Ashritaha, taking shelter of. Vritraha, Vritra. Iti, thus. Abhivikyataha, celebrated. Jnana Vijnana Samyutaha, fully equipped with transcendental knowledge and practical application of that knowledge in life. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Being cursed by Mother Durga, Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva, that same Citraketu accepted birth in a demoniac species of life. Although still fully equipped with the transcendental knowledge and practical application of that knowledge in life, he appeared as a demon at the fire sacrifice performed by Twasta, and thus he became famous as Vritrasur. Purport. The word yoni is generally understood to mean jati, family, group or species. Although Vritrasur appeared in a family of demons, it is clearly said that his knowledge of spiritual life still existed. Jnana Vijnana Samyutaha. His spiritual knowledge and the practical application of that knowledge in life were not lost. Therefore, it is said that even if a devotee falls down for some reason, he is still not lost. Yatrakva badram abhutamushyakim ko vardapto bhajatam swadharmataha. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.17. Once one is advanced in devotional service, his spiritual assets are never lost under any circumstances. Whatever spiritual advancement he has achieved continues. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Even if a bhakti yogi falls, he takes birth in a rich family or family of brahmanas, in which he again starts devotional activities from the point where he left off. Although Vritrasur was known as Asura or a demon, he did not lose his consciousness of Krishna or devotional service. So we offer prayers and then we will begin. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namoste Taptaka Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Before beginning, I offer my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and seek prayers and blessings, especially those who are here, those who are not here, those who are online, FM, especially His Grace Radhesham Prabhu, so that I can glorify the Lord and please the Vaishnavas and purify my heart. So this is a beautiful section, very fascinating and exciting story in Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, many wonderful speakers spoke varied angles of this pastime of Citraketu and Vritrasur. So here, especially the context is in 6th canto. I will describe it in 3 parts. First is introduction about the whole how theme is continuing, the context. And then what Prabhupada is focusing in the purport is mainly about the glory of bhakti. Yatra kvava vardham, the famous sloka from fifth chapter of first canto. Taktva swadharmam charanambujam harer bhajan napakko tapatet tato yadi yatra kvava vadhram abhutamushyakim ko vardhapto abhajatam swadharmatah. So Prabhupada is quoting this verse to emphasize on the bhakti process, the process of bhakti, the glory of bhakti, how bhakti is so potent. So I'll just focus on the bhakti process, the glory of bhakti, potency of bhakti, as Prabhupada is very much, most of the purport is focusing on. And then we will see last part, the text what was saying that just the consequences or the sequence of the events, incidents that are happening after the curse and after the Lord Shiva pacification or clarification or corrections, whatever, to Mother Parvati. And then the next event is that he is going to take the body of Rutrasur in the yajna where Toshta is performing. So these three points we will try to discuss. So the context here is the sixth canto mentioned, that is Poshanam of the 10 Lakshanas, Dasha Lakshana of Srimad Bhagavatam. The sixth canto is mainly focusing on Poshanam. Poshanam is defined in second canto, 9th chapter, where Sukadeva Goswami is defining that Poshanam is Tadanugraha. Tadanugraha is his merciful nature. The Lord's merciful nature is very much glorified in Poshanam aspect, especially in 6th canto. This element is focused on. So Tadanugraha. Of course, Krishna is all merciful, right? That's the HareKrishna, Karuna Sindhu. He is all merciful only. What is special? Tadanugraha. So Vishnu Thakur clarifies that yes, he is all merciful to everyone, but especially to the devotees and people in general also he is merciful. But if there is a mistake in doing bhakti or in carrying out dharma, if there is some mistake happens, so that time also he is there to protect. So that's the main point of Poshanam, protecting and nourishing. So Tadanugraha, not only he is merciful to all, he is merciful, Krishna is all merciful, just like sun, he is all shining. But especially he is merciful when there is some mistake, when there is some accidental sin or offense, etc. He is there to protect and nourish the devotees. That's what the examples are given, like Ajamil, Indra. Ajamil did some mistake and Indra did mistake, offense to his spiritual master. And now Citraketu. So still they are devotees. That's the part of Poshanam, nourishing. Protecting and nourishing. It is also Lord's aspect that he nourishes. And it is another side, the devotee also has to show in 6 limbs of surrender. What we hear is the most famous 6 divisions. Jai Shri Shri Radha Navchandra Dev ki Jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Sudhamarani ki Jai, Shri Shri Nitai Gosundar Bhagavan Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So it's also the devotees' part that they follow 6 limbs of surrender. That is the actual. Prabhupada quotes this famous verse in 18.66 about the 6 limbs of surrender. He explains what does actually surrender mean. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam rakshasi iti vishvasa goprupte varanam tada. Atmanikshepakarpanya. So these 6 limbs are the surrender on the part of the devotee also. He has to practice, he has to exercise these things. So there, rakshasi iti vishvasa. The devotee has to have firm faith that Krishna will protect me always. Asha bandha, nectar of devotion. So this is also exercised from our side, that Krishna will protect me, and Krishna is the only maintainer. Gopalputra, he is my only maintainer. No one else is the maintainer. So from both sides, from Lord side also he is there to protect, and from devotee also, practicing devotee sadhaka, and even Siddha also, they have firm faith that Krishna will protect me. So that's the main context here of the 6th canto, that is nourishing us. He will nourish us. That's the faith of the devotee. And Sukadeva Goswami is narrating after the curse is over, Parvati cursed Citraketu, and then now the Sukadeva Goswami is narrating that after the curse, now he is going to take birth in the Tvashta's arena, Yajna arena. He is taking. But he specifically mentioned that about his characteristics, that he is Jnana Vijnana Samyutaha. Though he is taking the body, but still he has that realization, Jnana Vijnana Samyata. We will just see that Prabhupada beautifully defines Jnana and Vijnana. So he is carrying that advancement, that realizations in his next body also. So that is the context. And the text is saying that curse is becoming manifested. Citraketu Maharaj accepted the curse. So, though Lord Shiva pacified Mother Parvati, consoled and clarified and glorified the process of bhakti, the Lord and the devotees in many verses, neither Parvati did not try to give any kind of consolation or kind of a reduction or decrease in the punishment, nor Citraketu did retaliate, in the sense that now you got the support of Lord Shiva, right? Lord Shiva is only telling Mother Parvati, Hare, you are wrong. Now Citraketu might have, had saying the guts, Hare, see, Lord Shiva is only telling, you are wrong. So he did not retaliate. I am right. So that's the beauty of the devotee. That's the last verse. His Grace Krishna Kishore Prabhu beautifully explained in the Saturday class. Tiraskrita vipralabdha shakta shipta hatapi nasya tat pratikurvanti tad bhakta prabhavapihi. The Prabhava, though they are very much powerful by themselves or powerful by the support of others. Now he got the Lord Shiva's support also in terms of proving his point, but still he accepted the curse. So when to accept, when to fight back is a very sensitive point in our life to apply. Just like when some difficult situations are there, when to fight, when to determinedly continue ahead, and when to accept the situation depends on case to case. So simple understanding what I had from what I read and heard is that Citraketu Maharaj accepted, okay, now it is done. I accept that I need to take the body of a demon. Now I accept. So when to accept, when to fight back, when to be determined. We say now devotee should be determined in his situations, in his any calamities, anything that is coming into our life. We need to be determined to practice bhakti. Or we need to accept the situations. Sometimes we need to bow down to the situations. So when to accept, when not to accept, when to fight back. Whatever little understanding I put it is here. Any decisions, it applies to any place of areas where I serve, which department I should serve, or which place, which city I should live in, or whom to associate with. All these are all, I just put in an equation to my understanding is a function of Krishna conscious life, sinful life and offensive life. I seek the blessings of His Grace Radhesham Prabhu to continue. Coming over. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So here Citraketu Maharaj accepted the curse. Okay, now I surrender. So I was just sharing the understanding that any decisions, anything that we need to accept in life should be based on or is a function of Krishna conscious life and a sinful life and offensive life. What is these three? So any decision or any situation we accept based on how it increases my Krishna consciousness, how I am nourished more and more in a particular situation or in a particular area, in a particular city, particular association. Same time, sinful life is sinful thoughts, sinful words, and sinful actions. So that should be reducing. And offensive life is also a function of, also a combination of sinful, offensive thoughts, offensive words, and offensive actions. So any decisions that we are taking, anything that we accept or we fight back based on these three things, that I am nourished more and more by Krishna conscious thoughts, words, and actions. And same time reducing, decreasing, especially the sinful thoughts, words, and deeds, and offensive thoughts, words, and deeds. That way, we need to accept such particular situations and particular, without fighting back. Okay, I accept now. So then Citraketu Maharaj accepted the curse of mother and accepted the body of Asura. But the subtle body and consciousness are very much surcharged with the devotional realization. That jnana, vijnana, samyuta, that's what expressed here by Sukadeva Goswami. Then he appeared in the arena of yajna, arena of yajna done by Tvasta. So Prabhupada here is quoting the famous verse from first canto. Taktva swadharmam charanambujam Hare bhajan napakvoto patet tato yadi yatra kva abhadram abhutamushrikim kim va ardho ko ardhapto abhajatam swadharmataha. So one who has forsaken his material occupations to engage in his devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage, yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. So Prabhupada writes in his beautiful purport that there are so many instances of this in histories. Bharata Maharaj was obliged to take his birth as a stag due to his intimate attachment to a stag. He thought of this stag when he died. Thus in his next birth he became a stag, although he did not forget the incidents of his previous birth. So there also we see that whatever he performed bhakti, by the mercy of Krishna, he remembered that one. That we read in fifth canto, that we have already read, that how he remembered that he had done so much of bhakti, and he remembered how he got the body of a stag. So he left immediately the place and went to Pulhashram also. He did perform so much of tapasya also there that he is not eating green grass also. He is eating, performing tapasya by eating dry grass. So that's how he remembered so much of his past the realizations. That's what Prabhupada mentioning here. So similarly, Citraketu also fell down due to his offenses at the feet of Shiva. So here point, but in spite of all this, the stress is given here to surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Lord, even if there is a chance of falling down, because even though one falls down from the prescribed duties of devotional service, he will never forget the lotus feet of the Lord. Once engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, one will continue the service in all circumstances. So here Prabhupada very much glorifying the potency of bhakti. The bhakti is such a process that we will have the great opportunity to continue from further on. Just like the bank example is given. You keep on adding the bank, some amount in the bank. So from the next life, we start from the 21st. Let us suppose we completed 20%. We start from 21st%. So that's how the bank balance keep on increases. Bank balance still stays. But when we do some offenses or something which is obstructing bhakti, it is said it is covered over. We are unable to access that bank balance or whatever wealth we have. We are unable to access it. Just like when we have a computer. So when it's logged, if we forget the password, then the whole information is there, but we cannot access it. And that example is given. Just like bank balance. We have a credit card, but we forgot the PIN. And then, though we may have lakhs of rupees in the bank balance, but we have to struggle hard to access the money. So, the offenses and sins we need to take care, but the potency of bhakti still will be acting once we correct ourselves. So, here a beautiful verse comes in Mukundamala Stotra, that how the bhakti is glorified, contrasting with the jnana and karma, the other processes. Amnaya abhyasananaranyaruditam vedavratananvaham medascheda falani purtavidaya sarvam hutam bhasmani tirdanam avagahanani chakajasnanam vina yatpada dvandvamboruhaya samsrutim vijayate devassa narayanaha. So without remembrance of his lotus feet, all the recitation of scriptures is simply like a crying in wilderness. Observance of the severe vows is just to make lose our weight. So just like people do so much of austerity, without remembrance of the Lord, it's simply losing weight. All the pious duties are oblations unto ashes. And bathing in holy places is just like an elephant's bath. I mean, we hear the elephant's bath many times. Even Parishit Maharaj explains in first chapter of the 6th canto about how the elephant, after taking fresh bath, immediately it comes out and take the dust and puts on again on its body. So this is all about pious activities. Now, they will not at all uproot the sinful tendencies that are there in the heart. Only bhakti has that potency. That's the main point here. King Kulashekar is glorifying the process of bhakti, remembrance of the Lord. Another beautiful verse mentioned by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Padyavali. Yadi madhumadhanattvadangri seva hriti vidadhati jahati va viveki tadakilam api dushkrutam triloke krutam akrutam na krutam krutam cha sarvam. O Madhusudan, if a wise person takes to heart to your lotus feet, then any sins he may have committed are nullified. But if a so-called wise person rejects your service, he must suffer all sinful reactions, though he may have committed no sinful deeds. He's saying, though it's a very heavy statement, though you are saying that the Bhakta has done so many sinful activities, he has not done anything. And on the other hand, the Jnanis and Karmis, those who are sincerely practicing, they have done no sinful activity, but you are saying that all sins are done. How it is that? So he's saying here, Krutam akrutam, na krutam krutam cha sarvam. So why sinful? Because the karma and jnana, yoga, etc. are bona fide, definitely. But still, the effect is mentioned here in this verse. The sinful effect is what? Effect of sin is what? Yeah, we have to suffer. We have to suffer either in this life, either prarabdha, whatever. We have to suffer. We have to suffer either in the narakas, whatever hellish planets. That is the effect of suffering, effect of sinful acts. So that sin we have to suffer. So, but comparing to bhakti, the highest platform of bhakti, the prema, the bliss of prema, So all other things are compared to suffering only. Right? Kaivalyam narakayate. So that's how it's mentioned. Even to the extent that the merging in Brahman is itself is like a suffering for the devotee. So in that sense, it is glorified. Bhakti is that though one is not doing any kinds of sinful activities, especially for other processes, karma, jnana, yoga, though they are not doing any other kind of sinful acts, but they are still doing sinful acts. But the bhakta, though sometimes he may sometimes commit some mistakes, but still is akrutam, krutam akrutam. That's a beautiful glorification of the bhakti process. So, of course, bhakti process is very much glorified. Prabhupada also had a beautiful story to tell this one about. He mentions about the story of baby monkey and cat. So this happened. This incident happened in 1967 when Prabhupada just returned to America after his health recovery of heart attack, and he was in San Francisco. So every morning they were going to park, so for a morning walk. So this day they went in two cars. One car Prabhupada went, and another car devotees were coming in the second car. So in the second car, Prabhupada already got down from the car, and he was seeing other devotees who are coming next in the car. And next car came, and from the car, one devotee, Mataji named Leelavati Mataji, he is trying to get down, but she was unable to get down. She is facing a lot of difficulty because she is carrying her baby on her back in a bag. They have some small bags to carry. So she had very difficulty in coming out. So after trying a lot, then she got out, and Prabhupada just saw her and smiled and said, he just smiled and said, "Yes, burden of affection, is it?" So she said, "Yes, Prabhupada." So Prabhupada is referring to baby, it's a burden of affection. And she smiled and said, she accepted that one. And then Prabhupada asked the question to her, which is good? Which is better? The baby monkey catching the hold of the mother monkey and traveling, or the mother cat carrying the small kitten in her mouth? Which is better? She did not understand anything, what Prabhupada is saying. Then Prabhupada only clarified. See, baby monkey is small, little weak, so it gets on the back of the mother monkey and he travels. And the small kitten is took by the teeth of the mother cat and carries. So which is better? Then she got the point. So yeah, Prabhupada, because the baby monkey is very weak and very frail. He is catching on her own strength and on the back of the mother. But the kitten is caught by the strength of the mother, the cat. So that is better. Yes, Prabhupada said, yeah, that is good. You understood the point. So this is the way of bhakti. Then she understood the point that this is the way of bhakti. So the devotee is always there. The yogis are like the monkeys. A small baby monkey, just like on her own strength, is trying to catch the back of the mother. So similarly, yogis are trying to catch the back of the absolute truth on their own strength. But devotee is there. Prabhupada showed that Prabhupada just lifted hands. A devotee cries to Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then Prabhupada mentioned, Krishna is there to lift him up. So that's how the process of bhakti very much illustrated by Prabhupada with such a beautiful analogy of baby monkey and kitten. So Krishna also glorifies the bhakti process in 12.4 and 7, contrasting that te prapnuvanti mameva. He mentions about the process of jnana and yoga. Sanyamendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddheha te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hite rata. She says that all these people, te prapnuvanti, all they also achieve me. But what about what he says about the devotees? Tesham aham samudarta mrityu samsara sagarat. I pick them up from the ocean of birth and death. Personally, I pick them. Especially in the pastime of Gajendra, we see that he personally came and picked him up. Shrutva harim tamaranamardinam apremeyas chakrayudha patagaraja bhujadirudaha chakrayudena nakravadanam vinipatya tasmat daste pragurhya pagavan krupayojjahara haste krupayojjahara daste pragurhya krupayojjahara. He, by catching hold of the Gajendra and lift him up from the ocean of course there it's from the crocodile's mouth. For the devotee it's the ocean of material existence. So there he mentions the beautiful verse. That's how the devotee's position and the glory of bhakti. Of course, Prabhupada very much glory. If you want to read about the glory of bhakti, we have to read this wonderful, beautiful purport. It's one of the longest purports in our Srimad Bhagavatam, glorifying the path of bhakti, where in Chatushloki Bhagavatam 2936, Etavadeva jignasum tattva jignasun atmanaha anvaya vitirekabhyam yatsyaat sarvatra sarvadha. So there Acharyas and Prabhupada elaborately glorifies the path of bhakti. Such a beautiful process, such a glorify, so nice, so simple, so potent. So these are all various angles Prabhupada glorifies the path of bhakti. And to mention one or two points that bhakti can be performed in all places, even in the womb, just like Prahlad Maharaj did, inside, outside, all the places. Yatsya sarvatra sarvada, in all the times, even in pralaya also. Nashtakale, pralaye, vaniya. So because the Supreme Lord protecting the Vedas, that Supreme Lord is worshipped even in the pralaya also. That's how Prabhupada quotes the quotation from Vedas. That bhakti can be performed there also. Bhakti can be performed in all the places. In Pune, in India, in America, in Antarctica. Recently, Bhagavatam also went to the seventh continent. They released a video also. The Srimad Bhagavatam went to Antarctica also. There, so Bhagavatam is glorified, bhakti is glorified. In all the places, even in Brahma Jyoti also bhakti can be performed. So that's the potency of bhakti. By all the candidates, here today is the disappearance of Rasikanand Prabhu also. Morning his guest Rasham Prabhu is quoting the pastime where he initiated even an elephant also. Elephant also can perform bhakti. Can it do karma? Can it do yajna? Can it do yoga? Can it perform any other asanas? No, it cannot do any other thing. But it can chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Though he may not be able to chant in words what we may hear, but it can remember the Lord inside. Definitely some are empowered, just like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered all the Jarikanda forest animals, birds and beasts, and made them chant in ecstasy. But we may not be able to do, as Prabhupada himself humbly mentioning that we may not be able to chant all the animals, but we can make the animals who are in the human form, those who are trying to imitate the animals. So that's the glory of Prabhupada, that he gave us the process that we can perform bhakti in all the places, in all the times and all the circumstances. So that's the potency of bhakti, that's the beauty of bhakti. And although by all the age groups, children, old people, today also Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj disappearance day. His Maharaj is so old, he is almost 120 years old, that he is almost blind, he is unable to see. His servant has to lift his eyelids to see, and he has to be carried in a basket on the top of his head. So Consider those people who are at that age. Can they perform any kind of yajna, any kind of yoga, meditating, or reading some jnana? No, they cannot perform any kind of thing. But they can remember the Supreme Lord in the mind. That is also bhakti. Just by remembering in the mind is also bhakti. Prabhupada quotes the famous South Indian Brahman story. How one can perform bhakti. May not be externally, one may not be unable to do it in the last stages of life. One cannot do it. But still it can be performed in the heart, in the mind. So that is the glory of bhakti. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj is such a personality that he was in ecstasy when he was taken to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace. Gaura, please let us recite the pranam mantra. Gaurar bhava bhumistvam Niddeshta sajjana priya Vaishnava sarvabhauma Shri Shri Jagannadhaya te namaha. So, when he was taken to the place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu place, he was in ecstasy and chanting and jumping up and down, and he was very much ecstatic. So that's the beauty of bhakti. Even Shankaracharya also, he was criticizing, he was chastising one old Brahmana who was trying to recite some grammar. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Modhamate, Samprapte Sannihitakale, Nahi Nahi Drukum Karane, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Drukum Karane. You cannot be protected by all this grammar, Drukum Karana. Please chant Govinda and Govinda. So that's the beauty of bhakti. So just to conclude the glory of bhakti, the beautiful verse mentioned by one of the famous slokas from here, Padyavali. Vyadasya charanam dhruvasya cha vayo vidya gajendrasya ka kubjaya kimunam arupam adhikam kim tat sudham no dhanam vamshoko vidurasya yadava pater ugrasya kim paurusham bhaktya tushyati kevalam nacha gunai bhakti priyo madavaha. So that's the beauty of bhakti. Of course, now it's almost time. So the second part that I want to discuss is, I'll just mention 2-3 minutes, then we will have some discussion. So one Japa talk, His Grace Rajambhru mentioned the beautiful concept called form, activities and attitudes. So here Citraketu, we are coming to the section of Citraketu where he took the form of a demon, right? So though he had a form of a demon, but the gross body and the subtle body and the soul, we have 3. We are souls having 2 forms, 2 bodies, the subtle body and gross body. So when the curse is given by Mother Parvati, definitely it affected the external body. He became Asura. He is such a gigantic form. He is expanding in all the directions. And also to some extent, it's not covered, but it is affected in the sense that he was identifying with the Tvashta's family. That we read in the 11th chapter that hey, he is challenging his Indra. You killed my brother Vishwarup. I will take a revenge on you. I will not die unless I take revenge on you. So these kind of these are activities of a demon. The form of demon is already there, but it's a kind of activities of a demon in the sense, demon is mostly influenced by Rajas and Tamas. So they have to, this influence will be there that in the body of a demon. The activities, the thoughts and activities may reflect the demoniac tendencies. So he was challenging, he was identifying with, he's my brother, I will kill you, I will dissolve my brother's debt, my debt also to my family. So he was saying so many Kshatriya words. So he is identifying there. The effect of curse is, little bit is, we can see there. Though, but still, the moment he started remembering his death, there the verses keep on, there it's not clearly mentioned that when he realized, but the moment he understands that now that my duty is over, now my duty is over as a Kshatriya, I did my part. I tried to fight and is almost on leaving the body. So he said, then he started remembering the Lord. That's where his realizations and the devotional outpours, not just spiritual realizations, but it's a devotional ecstasies in the form of 4 verses, famous 4 verses. He spoke to, he just recited to, he prayed to Lord. That was transforming to even to Indradev. So we can see that the form and activities may resemble like a demon, but the attitudes and consciousness is entirely of a Paramahamsa. So we can just contrast with Putana and Mother Yashoda. Prabhu is explaining in the talk that Putana had the form of a gopi, had the activities of a gopi, right? He is trying to feed mother baby, but her attitude is entirely different, to kill Krishna. But on the other hand, Mother Yashoda, attitudes are different. So basically here we are contrasting how the forms and activities, though I have a form of a devotee, and I also do activities of a devotee, trying to serve, trying to do all the chanting and hearing. But what are our attitudes and consciousness that we need to introspect ourselves. So this is about forms and activities and attitudes. Many examples are there. Nalakuvar and Maligriva also, he was cursed, but they were given the consciousness that they can remember the past life. That though they were in the forms of trees, but they were remembering what we have done to Narada Muni and all. So that was the mercy of Narada Muni. And the last part is that how the intense situations bring out the inner content. This is the Citraketu. I will just conclude with mentioning of these 4 points that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions why this pastime at all happened. So he says that intense emotions are made so by Lord because these calamities are used by the Lord to bring out the glory. As mentioned by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, I just made it an acronym, SIPS, nectar sips. He makes us drink nectar, the Lord. Though we may feel sometimes like a Karela juice, but it is a nectar. In order to announce the great strength of the devotees, seeing equally curses, blessings, Swarga, liberation and hell. So he made this pastime, great strength of the devotees, Swarga, Apavarga, Narakeshu. In order to remove the improper life of Citraketu as the leader of Vidyadharas. So because I tried to search why he went to Vidyadhara planets, whether it's Lord's desire or whether it's he desired. There is not clear mention, but it is just mentioned as an intermediate result of his performance of the bhakti. So 3rd point, in order to increase the Citraketu hunger for prema by the fire of separation. So he wanted to bring the Citraketu immediately to kingdom of God, his own abode. And in order to bestow the enjoyment of the great sweetness of direct service to his lotus feet. So Sankarshana, so to do this, Sankarshana inspired Devi to curse him out of affection as a father. That is the conclusion. This will be understood from the seeing the results. So he is saying this is in 11th chapter. So from seeing the results, this needs to be understood from the past time. Because of all this, in the 17th verse he is saying, Vishwanath Chakravarti commented on this one, to show the strength of the devotee, whatever situation is there, he is determined to serve the Lord and to remove the improper life as Vidyadharas and also as a Citraketu, as a Vrutrasur, and increase the prema and give the enjoyment of sweetness of bhakti. So I pause here. So we have seen just the context, how it's a Poshanam, 6th canto is a Poshanam. Though there are some mistakes by the devotees, sometimes, still the Lord is there to protect the devotee, to nourish the devotee. And also in the part of the devotees also, that they are exercising the 6 limbs of surrender, especially Rakshasi, Iti Vishwaso, that we are developing the faith in the Lord. He will protect me, He will nourish me, He will maintain me, and the devotees part also. And the context we have seen, and then we have seen the glory of bhakti. All the other process cannot be performed all the times, all the places, all the candidates, qualifications. But bhakti is the yatsya sarvat sarvada. That's how it's glorified, bhakti. And we have seen the condensed nectar from Vishwanath Chakravarti in terms of why this pastime happened and how we need to see in our lives. Though sometimes the situations happen, but these intense situations we need to see that it is also to show us what is our inner content. They also give us a glimpse of what is there in the heart or what is there in the content. Just like Parikshit Maharaj was cursed, the inner content came out. Punascha bhuyat bhagavatyanante ratim prasangasya sadashrayeshu. So he was glorifying. His aspirations are different. So the inner content came out. So that's how we can check ourselves that what is my inner content when the difficult situations arise. So I thank you so much. So if there any correction and comment by His Grace Prabhu and all the Vaishnavas.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for nicely bifurcating the purport and explaining in parts, completely integrating the entire 6th canto by explaining what is the actual meaning of Poshana and how this verse is related to that. Thank you. You were actually that last one you were saying about sip, in that you were telling about the impious
improper
life of Citraketu. There I was also pondering previously also, I thought it triggered me to ask this question. So actually devotee, because Antardeep Prabhu recently gave class, he told that devotee doesn't even aspire to go back to Godhead. He wants to stay here also and continue the service. Namama Janmani Janmanisware. So actually he was also, if we see, he is as a leader of Vidyadhar, he was actually performing amidst all the beautiful young girls. He was still not attracted to them, but he was chanting the glories of holy name. And even Prabhupada disciples also, they didn't want to go back to Godhead. Many said that we want to go to planet where Prabhupada is performing his pastimes. So now Citraketu Maharaj seems to follow the same line, that he doesn't want to go back to Godhead. So I was thinking that can you explain this improper life part, and also why he has to go back to Godhead, because it's said that Lord wants him to come back to Godhead. So of course it's the Lord's desire that he wants to bring him, even though he wants to stay there. But yeah, that improper life, can you explain a bit?
Yeah. Thank you. So here improper life, what my understanding, that you are mentioning that that's what I try to understand, why he landed up in Vidyadhara planets. Whether it's Lord's desire or whether it's his desire. The purports, Prabhupada mentioned that by practice of bhakti, one can achieve any result. That's the conclusion Prabhupada brings out in the purport, where he was given the Vidyadhara Adhipati. That's what Prabhupada mentions. Vishwanath Chakravarti just mentions that this is just an intermediate result of his practice. So he was given as a Vidyadhara Pati. So but the final result in the next verse, immediately he asks and prays also that I want to be with you in the abode. I want to achieve the final result. But still, though he is in the body of a Vidyadhara, but he is always glorifying the Lord. That's what mention of the many slokas, that he was going in airplanes and glorifying the Lord in the airplanes. But it is here, as mentioned by Vishwanath Chakravarti himself, that he wanted to increase the prema and bestow enjoyment of great sweetness by bringing him to his abode. And improper life, this is improper life, because something like this incidents can happen anytime in this material world. Just like he is going in an airplane, There it is said that in one verse, in the 10th verse, I think, in the 17.10, there he mentions that, Sukadeva Goswami himself mentions that because he had little pride that I could control my senses and mind, and now I have seen the Lord Shankarashna directly, I can comment, I can criticize, or I can do that. That is directly mentioned in the verse itself. And even Vishwanath Chakravarti also mentions that he was little proud. That so this can happen in devotional life. We cannot see also in Dhruva Maharaj's life, though he was seeing the Lord, but still the anger later on sprouted up. Some things can happen. So this is a material world. We cannot expect can go everything smooth. But so for that reason, that's my understanding that things can happen. Any things can happen. So in order to remove that improper life, and also to increase his prema so when he was put into this demonic body, his intense emotion, his intense devotion came out to glorify the devotee. So he was made to go through these situations also to glorify bhakti, as mentioned by him also, that the strength of the devotee, seeing equally everything. So that's my understanding. Prabhuji can comment on that one. Thank you. So if you have any question, maybe you can ask personally. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hare Krishna.